Hi, my name is Robbie Hurst. I'm a certified flight instructor with Monarch Air, and today I'm going to be doing a video over VFR sectional charts as it pertains to airspace. We've already done a video over airport information. You can see that on our list of videos, but today we're going to be going over airspace. So as you already know, we've got Class Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, and Gulf airspaces. And we're going to go over how you can recognize those airspaces on a sectional chart, or at least the ones that you can see on the sectional chart. So to get us kicked off, I'm actually going to start in the middle, and we're going to talk about Class Echo airspace. So Class Echo, we've got this Childress Airport out in West Texas, and it's got a dashed magenta line going around it. That's going to let us know that we've got Class Echo airspace starting at the surface. Starting on the ground of the airport, you are in controlled airspace in Class Echo airspace. However, if we come over to Hollis, we've got a magenta hash line, or a magenta hash around it. And that's going to let us know that the Class Echo airspace starts at 700 feet AGL. Now, we know, generally speaking, Class Echo airspace starts at 1,200 feet AGL, or 14,500 in specific cases in the mountains. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to talk how Class Echo usually starts at 1,200 feet AGL. And so we had a Class Echo that started at the surface, which was unique, and now we've got Class Echo that starts at 700 feet AGL. Below that 700 feet AGL is going to be Class Gulf airspace, which has different weather minimums, and we'll get into that into another video of the major importance differences between those airspaces. So if we get outside of this hash, now we're in Class Gulf airspace up to 1,200 feet AGL. So, for example, this airport all the way up to 1,200 feet AGL is Class Gulf airspace before it becomes Class Echo airspace. And it's Class Echo airspace all the way up to 18,000 feet, or all except excluding 18,000 feet, so 17,999. So we've got the hash markings, means Class Echo to the surface. Hash means that it's Class Echo to 700 feet AGL. And then with no markings, it's going to be Class Gulf airspace up to Class Echo at 1,200 feet AGL. So pretty simple there. We're going to get into some slightly larger airports. So I'm going to bring us over to, let's take a look at Wichita Falls. Wichita Falls is going to be a Class Delta airspace. So we've got this blue dashed line coming around the Class Delta airspace. And this is going to be a controlled airspace, and it's going to be monitored by an air traffic controller, and you have to have permission to enter that airspace. So you have to have two-way communication via radios and be able to hear your tail number in order to enter this dashed space, which is the Class Delta airspace. And there's several other regulations, and we'll go over the actual airspace regulations in another video. At the moment, we're just going to go over how to spot them on the map. So we've got our Class Delta here on the map with the blue dashed lines, and that starts at the surface. All Class Delta airspaces start at the surface, and you'll see a number box here, and that's going to let you know how far up that airspace goes to. So in this case, it's going to go up to and including 3,500 feet MSL. So if you're inside the dashed line, or if you're below 3,500 feet AGL and below 3,500 feet AGL, then you're going to be in that Class Delta airspace and have to follow all the regulations that come with Class Delta. The next airspace that going up in size is going to be a Class Charlie airspace. So for Class Charlie, we're going to work our way over to Oklahoma City. And you can recognize this as a Class Charlie because it's a solid magenta line. And you'll notice that there are several lines. And that's because a Class Charlie airspace works like an upside-down wedding cake. So in the innermost circles, and I'm going to say circles because there's two major airports here that are protected by the Class Charlie airspace. And you'll see over here, this starts at the surface and goes up to 5,300 feet. Same over here. This starts at the surface and goes up to 5,300 feet inside these solid lines. When you step outside of these lines, now we're going to look around, and this one starts at 2,500 feet and goes up to 5,300 feet. And we're going to continue around. This one also starts at 2,500 feet and goes up to 5,300 feet. But we've also got this area in the middle that starts at 3,000 feet and goes up to 5,300 feet. So again, it works like an upside down wedding cake. So it starts real small by the airport, and then the further out you get, it gets a little wider. So the next airspace that we're going to talk about is going to be Class Bravo airspace. And there's no better Bravo to talk about than the DFW Bravo airspace. So you can recognize a Class Bravo airspace by the solid blue lines. That's going to let you know that it's a Class Bravo airspace, and it's much larger than the other airspaces. You can think Bravo means big, it means Boeing aircraft. They're very large spaces, but it works just like the Class Charlie does. So whenever you come to the center here, it's going to start at the surface, goes up to 11,000 feet, and as we work our way out, you're going to notice that where it starts gets higher and higher, but they all end at the same height. So for example, this one here starts at 2,000 feet, goes up to 11,000 feet. The next ring out starts at 3,000 feet, goes up to 11,000 feet. The next ring out starts at 4,000 feet, goes up to 11,000. And then our last one also starts at 4,000 and goes up to 11,000. So the Class Bravo is really cool to fly in. There's a lot of things happening, but you really have to make sure that if you're flying where you're supposed to be. If you weren't cleared into the Bravo, you need to make sure that you don't accidentally clip it by coming around the corner at a space that it dips. So very important to have your sectional charts out on your lap. Make sure that you've got that situational awareness, know what airspace you're in, know the regulations behind those airspaces, and be a safe and proficient pilot. Again, my name is Robbie Hurst. I'm a certified flight instructor with Monarch Air. Would love to be a part of your flight journey. If I can help you in any way, please feel free to reach out anytime. My cell phone number's on the video here. And please like and subscribe, and let me be a part of your journey.